Hi guys, it's Mel here from Thermomix. I just thought I'd pop in today and give you a few pointers on how to import recipes from the recipe community into your new created recipes on Cookidoo. So I'm going to do it old school. I'm going to just show you on my iPad, so I'll get it all ready and run you through. Okay, so this is the recipecommunity.com.au. So this is a recipe resource that anyone can contribute their recipes to. It's separate to Cookidoo, but we now have the capability of being able to import recipes that we want from the recipe community into our created recipes on Cookidoo. So first things first, what you need to do, if you haven't already created an account in the recipe community, you just need to register here. Now it is free. Once you have registered, you can then just log in, and then you have access to the recipes, and you have the capacity to rate them and also comment on them as well. So I'm going to log in and I'll show you some of my recipes. Okay, so once you have logged in, if you want to search for a recipe, you can just search straight here. It's got all recipes. You can search for an ingredient or the name of a recipe. If you'd like to create your own recipe, you just go up to the menu option up top here. You go into recipes, and this one here, create a new recipe. So you can just click on that and that'll get you going to create your own recipe. You can also search from here, as well as look at your previous recipes that you might have uploaded in those options here. So we're going to go into create new recipe. Okay, so then it will run you through step by step all the different things that you need to do to upload your recipe. So it'll start off with the recipe title, you can upload your photo, then it'll ask you to put in your ingredients and your preparation steps. I'm going to bring up one that I've done previously and show you a little bit more. Okay, so this is the one that I have uploaded previously. This is my veggie packed chunky bolognese. So you've uploaded your photo, you've got all your ingredients. This part here, the recipe preparation steps, I'm just going to click on it and I'm going to show you a really important thing when you are uploading your recipe. Preparation steps, make sure you put them in so that each of your step that you want separated onto a different screen on your TM6, make sure right down the bottom here you press this add preparation step button. Otherwise, all of your steps will just be within one of these slides. Even if you manually number them, they will not separate when you actually import it into Cookidoo and on your screen. Then you'll need to do lots of editing later. Okay, so once you've gone through all of your steps, you'll find this little button here on the side, Add to Cookidoo. So if you press that button there, that is going to import it into your created recipes, and I'll show you where that lives. You can also copy and paste the URL, and you can actually put that into Cookidoo as well. There are two different ways to import your recipe, but this new little add to Cookidoo button is very handy. So you just got to make sure when you are uploading recipes to the recipe community that they are your recipes, that you haven't plagiarized anyone else's recipes, because there are a lot of copyright around recipes, and you've got to make sure you're only importing your own recipes onto Cookidoo. Okay, so I've now opened up my Cookidoo app. I said I'll show you where the recipes live. So if you go into my recipes down the bottom here, along the side we have created recipes. So created recipes, these are the ones that you have just imported and created, and they're a little bit different from your created collections. So collections that you have named yourself, like my holiday menu here, that's a separate folder system. So if you just go into all, and just below bookmarks, I've got my created recipes living right there. So these are all the ones that I have created myself, or I've translated from Cookidoo itself. Now I do have another video where you can watch on YouTube, just on my Thermomix channel. If you are interested in translating Cookidoo recipes into English, that'll show you how to do that. So these are all my recipes here that I have imported or created. So if you want to actually, without adding them to the recipe community, this little plus button down the bottom here, if you just want to add in a quick recipe with a few steps that you don't want other people to have access to in the community, you can actually just hit that plus button there, and that will actually take you to the create recipe screen. So then you can create your own title. It'll step you through all the ingredients that you want to add and all your steps. Okay, so these are my created recipes. This is the one that I've just imported from the recipe community. So we're just going to open that one up, and we actually need to program each of the steps on each of the separate slides. Now that we have separated the slides, we actually need to then program them to be guided on the TM6 screen. So to do that, we're going to hit the little pencil button down the bottom right hand corner there, and that's going to help us then go in and edit the recipe. So this is where you can make changes to your title, or if it's someone else's recipe that you've imported and you want to tweak it with your own ingredients or to the way that you like it, then you can go on in, you can create a new name, import a new picture, make it your own recipe. You can tweak things. You're welcome to edit them as you wish. Okay, so we're going into our preparation steps. We actually need to program in this chop 4 seconds speed 5. Okay, because it's a chopping feature, we're going to hit the blade symbol down here, and we're going to put in here 4 seconds. We're going to hit, there's no temperature that we need, so we're just going to select the speed, which is speed 5. Once you hit that tick there, it then underlines what you've just programmed, which means it will then come up on screen as a guided step. Okay, you can clean it up and you can just take out the directive that you've got in there. This does get a little bit touchy on an iPad. It's probably better to do this on a PC, but you get the idea. You can just clean that up a little bit, press the tick when you're done. Okay, so when it comes down to something that you need to weigh in, okay, so let's just say, we'll just do this step here as an example. Okay, it says add about 2 tablespoons or 40 grams of Worcestershire sauce. So where it says here the 40 grams, if you actually just put the cursor there, add your weight button. Now, once you've actually hit the scales, it's going to bring you up all of your options here. Okay, so they've already been transported over from this side here. You just need to select which one you actually want to show on screen. Okay, so it's got all of your ingredients. You just hit your the ingredient you want, hit the plus button, and that is going to bring it up here. So you can rename it here if you wish. The two just need to be written in there, and then you just press your tick button. Now we have the 40 grams of Worcestershire sauce written on there with a line underneath, so that when we actually go to our TM6, anything that we have programmed for a weight, well, that will come up on screen. So you can see that in a minute, and I'll show you how that one works. Okay, so I have finished adding all of my directives in. So everything that I've added in is now in bold here, so that you know it'll come up on screen when it's in bold. So it has all been added in. I've pressed my confirm button, and then I'll show you how that actually appears on screen. Okay, so this is another recipe that I've imported. One of my favourites is a chocolate mud cake on a budget. Now I just want to show you this one. This one has a lot of ingredients that get put into one step, right? So press the edit button. We're just going to go down into the step. Now you'll see that all of your ingredients here, they're all underlined, okay? So on screen, when you actually bring up the little weigh symbol, everything here with an underline will come up in list form on screen. So you can have more ingredients on one screen. You can also have more directives, okay? So if you had a 2-step, so you had for example here, you've got 3 seconds speed 3, then you also have adding flour and then 43 seconds speed 3. You can program 2 directives or more on the one slide. I'll just show you how that actually works on screen. So I'll go over now to my TM6 and I'll show you how things here actually play out on screen. Okay, so here we are at my TM6. To get to your created recipes, you just hit your little menu here. You go into My Recipes, and here are the created recipes. That's where they will all live. Now, they aren't actually stored on your internal memory of your TM6. They are actually stored on Cookidoo itself. So you do need to have Wi-Fi to be able to access them. So these are all my recipes here. So this is the one, the chocolate on a mud cake, that I was going to show you how it all actually plays out on screen. Press start cooking. Now these recipes actually work across, not up and down like the other Cookidoo recipes. So you're just going to hit your across button there, okay? So once you have your underlines here, you've actually programmed them with the underline, they'll actually come up on screen showing you that they actually have been programmed. Okay, so if you hit the little symbol here, which is now green because it's been programmed, you'll know that they are all good to go, and this is where they will all come up. So you can just have access to the recipes. You can just tear your weights as you go. You need to close this screen down here with the X to move on back to the main screen. If you have a chopping or a stirring function, then this green blade symbol will be highlighted, so you can just go into your blades, and there it is, you've programmed the directive. To get to the next screen, you're actually going to press your across button here, and then it'll just take you through each of your screens. Okay, now this one here, remember I said that you can program more directives on one screen. This one's got a chop at 10-second speed 9, so the first time you hit the blades, it will come up with your 10-second speed 9. So to get to the second chopping or stirring, you actually need to hit that one on the screen, and then that will take you to it, okay? So you can either press your blades here, that'll take you straight to your first one, or if you actually tap that line here, it will take you to that. So then you have a couple different directives on screen. You can also hit your scales or your ingredient there, and it'll take you straight to your scales. Okay, so that is that one. Alright, so I actually did a duplicate recipe and downloaded this one twice just so I could show you how to program it. If you have a recipe that you don't want anymore, you just press these three little dots here, and that will give you the option to either go back in and edit it or delete the recipe. Okay. Also adding to cooking today and my week, but I'm going to delete that recipe there. So one thing I didn't show you is if you want to actually import and change a Cookidoo recipe. So if you open up your recipe in Cookidoo that you want, press your add button, then you can actually just press your add to created recipes, and then you can actually edit that recipe. So for the mushroom risotto, I always add zucchini, and I blitz those mushrooms so they're undiscoverable from the kids. So you can actually then just go through and press your edit button, and you can make all the edits that you wish and save that recipe and make it your own.